build your resume. Second half shutout, or
6 points in the second half. Yeah.
were dominant, and you guys really pushed. Langston to the brink. I mean, it went from a game where Langston led led at the half
Yeah.
to where you wouldn't have known that by the final score. What was that intensity like as the second half went on?
I mean, we got down 14 pretty early, and I was just trying to tell everybody on the sideline, like, our game plan was going to work. Don't waver. Don't have your head down, and just keep playing the brand of ball that we play every game. Like, we can't, like, no matter what the score is, we got to be the same team. So when we got down like that, nothing changed. The plan didn't change, and as you see, it started working, and we got the job done.
What was that plan there, quarterback? It seemed like you guys had the slow initial play, and then he was able to get out,
Yeah.
and then you guys really cut him down.
Yeah.
Those,
Well, I mean, kudos to him. He's a great player. He's great with his feet and his arm, making plays, making something out of nothing. So we just tried to contain him and make sure that he couldn't use the best of his abilities and keep him in the pocket, because once he got out the pocket, he's a little dangerous. He has a big arm, so we just had to respect that, and that's what the game plan was based around.
we saw a lot of special teams miscues
Yeah.
from them, and it seemed like with each one, built and the confidence built.
Yeah.
What's it mean to you guys for getting those stops and cutting points off the board?
It just brings nothing but momentum, honestly. Like, when we're getting those field goal blocks, like, we practiced that in the week, and even Coach Nesbitt said he knew we were going to get one, and we ended up getting, I think, two or three. I don't remember what it was, but I mean, special teams is a key part of the football game. Like, it's not just offense, defense. You got to play in all areas, and we did really good today on special teams.
You guys have a week off
Mhm.
in terms of games at least.
Mhm.
Obviously, you'll still practice and get ready for camp. But how do
Yeah.
you continue that momentum this week?
We just can't waver. Like, we just got to keep the same energy we do as we came into this week with, and it doesn't matter if we have a game. We still got practice Tuesday, Wednesday, and we got to go all out with that, because the season ain't over, and we just got to keep pounding, because we got a good chance to do what we want to do.
All right, senior day.
Yep.
What was that moment like to celebrate?
I mean, shout out my pops. He didn't get to make it. He had to work. I love him, so it was sad he couldn't come. But I mean, I had a great showing, as you see, that came, showed out, got me a little chain, a little sweater. So I mean, before the game, it was pretty emotional. But once that was over, it was time to go to work. And you feel me? They're gonna be here till Monday. I'm gonna get plenty of time to catch up with them. But we just had to go to work and put it all on the field, not leave anything for grabs.
What's been your favorite part or favorite parts of
Playing here, they just have let me grow through all my mistakes, like, through every part of the game, good and bad. Like, I just trust my coaches, and we just have a really great relationship, coach to player. So it's just a great environment out here. And I mean, I wasn't in a great place before I came here. I had a couple schools I went to that didn't go well, took a year off. So it's just great to have a team that respects you and loves you and lets you do what you love to do. And I'm forever grateful for that from Coach Dominguez and Coach Nesbitt. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes, sir.
A great effort from your defense, and especially in that second half.
Yes, sir.
As the offense started to pull away, you guys were making stops to gain that momentum. What was that halftime adjustment like, and how did you guys just lock it down?
We made a few adjustments, but really, we just knew we played 4 quarters. We knew they couldn't hang with us. Off season, we trained harder than anybody, so we knew what to do when the fourth quarter came. So it wasn't too much of a deal.
How did you guys keep your confidence up, right? You go into the half, you're down, only one score, but
Yeah.
obviously not what anybody envisions. But how did you guys keep that confidence up, and you came out and you just let your own, you made the stops and then the offense?
Yeah, it's really just the way we prepare every week, day in and day out. We just prepare hard, and once you prepare good, you're gonna be confident. Like it's no loss.
For yourself, a really good night. You had the interception, a couple pass breakups as well. What was this night like, and how were you able to be all over the ball, not only when you're bringing guys down, but making plays on the ball as well?
Yeah, I finally caught a ball. Dropped a couple picks throughout the season, but my defensive coordinator, Coach D, like Monday, Tuesday, he sent me a text saying like, if you don't play get this game good, we're gonna lose. And I took that seriously, and I just locked in. And I knew a lot of stuff they were doing, and I knew how to stop it, and I just stopped it.
You've made a lot of good plays and played a lot of good games in your time here at OUAZ.
Yes, sir.
Tonight was senior night. What did it mean to be a part of it and play your last regular season home game in front of you?
Really, we just wanted to go get the win for the seniors. let them leave this last year on a win, on a dub at home, and just come home victorious.
You guys have a week off. A week off from games, that is. Obviously, you'll still continue the preparation for Panhandle.
Yes, sir.
How do you guys continue the momentum and get ready for November 16th?
We're just going to keep preparing the same way we do. Just lock in, get in the playbook, continue to do what we do.
Excellent. Thank you for your time.
Yes, sir.
Well, Jh'dhan, we've seen you run all over the field all season and happened again tonight, 208 yards, 2 touchdowns. What were you seeing in that game tonight that allowed you to break free so often?
Just my O-line making like the biggest holes I've probably ever seen all season. My tight ends blocking, or receivers blocking. Shout out to the fullback Colin blocking, the tight end Mike Young blocking. Just all around blocking, team effort, and allowed me to show you guys my speed and what I can do.
We've had the running backs in here this year. They all gave a shout out to the O-line, and obviously that's always going to happen. But it seems like their play has always jumped to the next level each week. How have they been able to just continue to hit that next level and expand it?
Practice just staying physical, knowledge of the assignment every down, just taking practice serious and bringing it to game.
For you find pay dirt twice. It seemed like every time a running back got the ball, they were finding at least 4, 5, 6 yards. How is that running back room yourself, guys like Jh'dhan, so special that it doesn't, every guy has the opportunity to break the big one?
Just being extremely selfless, letting the next guy eat when he gets a chance, and not complaining on the sideline when it's not your turn. Yeah.
And I misspoke earlier. I said you had 2 touchdowns. That was 2 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
You had the receiving touchdown as well. How do you make sure that your game is so dynamic? Not only are you a great runner, but you can also be a great passer.
Just staying locked in all week, honestly. Knowledge of the assignment, physicality, and tempo. That's what our running back coach, Coach Johnson, be preaching every day. And just take that to heart and stay locked in, focused.
2 weeks till your next game, that is. You'll obviously prepare in the bye week. But how do you continue the momentum from what you guys got tonight into 14 days from now?
Take Tuesday and Wednesday serious at practice. Still bring the tempo, knowledge of assignment, physicality, every down, every practice.
Excellent. Jh'dhan, one more, actually.
Yeah.
Senior night tonight. What was it like to have the people that you love and that support you on the field with you, and what have been some of your favorite memories here at OUAZ?
Honestly, I'll say the games. I really do love the games. And then it just felt amazing seeing my parents come out watching me, all my siblings. Also just meeting the new transfers and new freshmen every year coming in and having them show love and support when I'm out there playing. That really gets me going.
Excellent. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
All right, Coach. Well, big win tonight. Big second half from all sides of the ball. What did you like most about your team?
The thing I liked most about our group tonight was just the complete composure, poise, whatever word you want to use with it. I mean, we were, just like I told the guys after the game, we were at the doorstep of probably getting blown out. Those guys had everything going for them, all the momentum, all the energy, and we were not doing really anything. They were moving the ball up and down the field. Their quarterback was playing great. Receivers were catching everything. The rain wasn't bothering them, and we were just kind of stuck in neutral a little bit. And then we get a couple stops. We get a great kickoff return. We get a conversion there, and all of a sudden the game kind of flips, and we start playing pretty good football on both sides. And then even our special teams, our punt game, and our kickoff cover unit and our kickers kind of stepped up tonight and did some good things. So what I was most, I guess, happy about was just the no quit but no flinch, right? They just kind of like I was talking about earlier, they just kind of stayed in it. And then we got rolling and guys started making plays and they were doing what they needed to do to win a game.
Tonight, if you were somebody that talked about the details of the football game, was one to watch, right? For Langston, they left 8 points on the board, a bad extra point kick, a bad hold, a bad snap, field goal, a blocked field goal as well. Why did those extra details matter, and how do you show those guys, like, hey, this is why we pay such attention to detail.
I think the thing that helps those guys on special teams, but offense and defense, I think it's the constant. One, we probably practice PAT field goal and PAT field block maybe more than anybody in the country. We do it every day for 5 minutes, and the guys hate it. But we talk about it as a scoring play, right? You got to execute it on the offensive side, the kick, the hold, the snap, all that. And then you got to coach the block. You got to coach guys how to turn the edge, get to the block, and Coach D does a great job with that. And so we spend a ton of time on it, right? And it's probably more, but if you really look at it, it's a true scoring play, right? I mean, those are points exchanging hands either way, and so you want to make sure you operate good at it, and you're going to function well at it. And I think the other one too that I think is big in our special teams, especially with our block units, our guys are aggressive and they come off the ball super hard in every unit, from punt block to PAT field goal block, any of that stuff. And so it gets on tape, right? So those kickers, the holders, the snappers, they see it week to week that our guys are challenging it. Well, in their mind, right? They're like, these guys are going to come block a kick. They're going to try to block it every snap. So I think mentally it gets after them too. And I think that's the other part, right? Is you constantly sell them on the fact is let those other guys make the mistake and don't be the guy that loses the game, right? Don't be the guy that gives them the game. Let them feel your pressure and just constant on top of them, or maybe they'll make the mistake first and then you can capitalize.
In that first half, the quarterback, Bardell, it seemed like even when you were on top of him, he was getting out and making plays. But in the second half, you guys cut that way down and cut that off, basically. What was that change that you saw there where you started to limit him really in that second half?
Well, I think the big thing, you got to give Langston and their coaching staff and Coach Morgan, those guys, some credit, right? They understand, right? They can full slide it, they can protect it, they can catch it 1, 2, 3, get it out of his hands. He's got some receivers that can run some really good routes and make some cuts and some. So he knows, right? They've got a good plan. Their timing, their execution of it's really good. And they get you in a tough spot, because if you give them too much grass and too much space, they're going to kill you on the slants and the bubbles and the hitches. And then you close the ground, and then the quarterback scrambles and runs around, and all of a sudden you got guys running down the field. And, okay, this is not really Arvell's fault, but poor Arvell in the first quarter, right? We put him in man coverage on a wheel route. He's running down the field, best pass rusher, and poor Arvell's running down the field, and he gets a pass interference penalty. He's 30 yards away, and he doesn't know that quarterback is scrambling around back there, and he didn't even probably know the guy's got the ball in the air coming at him, right? I mean, that's where Langston has really made their hay the whole season, is they can do that, and they're consistent at it, and they live in that world. And then on defense, they can play some great man coverage, and they can load the box, and they're going to make you win on those one-on-one balls. And if you don't win on those, like we didn't tonight, we didn't win on the outside fade very much. We missed a couple. Luckily, we caught a couple, but, we did some decent things. But that's the one that makes it tough for you, is if you get caught in that game, it's kind of like what we were in the first half, right? That's why we had to get back to the running the ball and get downhill on them.
As you were saying, they played some great coverage. Passing game, not obviously where you necessarily want it to be, but your rushing game again was phenomenal and seemingly unstoppable. Let's start with Jh'dhan, 208 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground, had a receiving touchdown. What's he been like this season?
Oh, we've been waiting. Jh'dhan's been kind of that guy that's been behind some really good running backs since he's been here. And he's just kind of had to wait his turn. And then unfortunately the poor guy's had some injuries, hurt his ankle last year when he was really getting good, and then had to sit out, and he's just had to wait his turn, and then been a little bit unlucky. And so he's always had that ability. He really has to be able to get downhill. He's hard to tackle. He's physical at the point of contact. He's gonna fall forward. When you watch him run, like the fourth down that we went for it in the middle of the field, right? He was going to fall forward for 3. We just had to get enough push to get him going, and he did it because he's just so physical. He's got great lower body strength, does a great job in the weight room. And so it's exciting to see him finally get his turn, to be the number one guy in certain situations. So it's awesome. And then the O-line, I think Coach Womack and those guys and Coach Johnson are doing a fantastic job with those guys up front, and our A's and our tight ends, and just that collective group of Coach Womack and Coach Ganote and that group and Coach Johnson. They're just getting those guys to play, and they're putting us in good run scenarios. So it's been really good to see.
What can you say about the way the offense continued to operate? You're used to the big plays on the ground. You're used to a little bit more big plays in the air. I'm sure there was a little frustration, but what do you like about the way the offense guys were doing what was given to them.
Yeah.
They just continued to push them.
No, I think that's the big thing, right? I think that's where people get lost with their offense a little bit, right? Everybody looks at it as like a big play scenario and all that, but really it's take what they give you. And if you look at it in the third quarter, I think we had 3 or 4 drops that were big plays, and then we had a couple, especially down there going into the goal line. We missed an open receiver on a wheel route where Luke just kind of checked and went the opposite direction with it. That really it was the play. We had Mike in the back of the end zone in a good spot. And then we had another 4th down where we kind of overcooked it a little bit and we went the other way. And if we go left, it's probably a first down. We go right, and we ended up having to kick it. So I think that's the good part of, even when it's tough, the kids are trying to figure out, okay, this is taken away. We got to find this way to get the ball downfield and execute at it and not panic. That's the neat thing right now is they're not panicking and getting all discombobulated because, well, we haven't hit the post yet or we haven't hit the vertical to the vicious. Let's just take back what they're giving us and then be good at it. And they did a great job, but it was being able to run the ball, especially when it was raining and getting crazy out there tonight.
Your defense, especially that second half, just came together and were unstoppable.
Yeah.
What do you think those adjustments that were made at halftime, and how important was it for them to come out and grab the momentum for you guys in that second half?
Oh, it was huge. One, I think we just, we got our feet underneath us and understood the speed of the game. Those guys are fast from Langston, right? So you put them out there in a bunch of space and you got to tackle in the open field. It's hard. It's hard to be a DB and a linebacker out there, and I think they got their feet underneath them and just tackled better. We're more physical at the point of attack. And then we kept the quarterback in the pocket. We didn't let that guy get out, and we didn't let him run around. And I think those guys just did a great job on the defensive staff of just making that adjustment to put them in a good situation where our kids can make the play instead of being outmanned or outflanked by a receiver or anything like that. And those guys just executed at a good level.
Kier, Gibson had a really good night.
He did.
6 tackles, 4 solos, 2 pass breakups, and interception as well.
Yeah.
What did he mean to that secondary?
Oh, it was fantastic. I wish we'd have done a little bit more with one of the interceptions, but I mean, he was great with it. I mean, I think, but he's another one of our guys, right? It's been around here. Great teammate, great leader, fantastic guy, solid in everything he does, on and off the field. He's a winner. He's a great kid, and it shows up tonight in the big game.
What was the discussion? And I guess ultimately they did a replay of the down on that 2nd and 15 play that Langston ended up scoring the next play. But what had happened there where you guys thought you had the ball, and then there was probably about 5 minutes of discussion, and then it came to a replay? What was?
We did have the ball, and so it was an inverted whistle. Someone in the crew blew the whistle. We recovered the fumble, and that's why we replayed the down. So it was a fumble. There was an inverted whistle in the middle of the play, and so for them, they decided to reset the ball and replay the down again.
Was it after the ball had come out, or was it like as the guy was still?
It was right before he came out, the ball popped out, and so it was kind of simultaneous. And I heard the whistle, so I kind of knew that was going to be the one. The one you want back is the flinch on the sideline where the receiver jumps and then they throw the completion, because that was another third and long play. He's on our sideline and the kid moves and we don't call it, right? So that was that's to me the one that you want back. The inverted whistle, it's going to happen. Those guys are trying to catch up to the play and stuff like that. They're human. They're going to make that mistake sometimes. But so you just got to just live with it and get the stop when you can get the stop.
Before we get to the final question, 2 weeks off from games, that is, how do you continue this momentum into the next 2 weeks of practice and get ready for Panhandle?
That's great. The thing we started with before we went to play Simpson, we got the win at Wayland, and I thought we played pretty good at Wayland except for about 5 minutes when they cut the score, right? It's 28-21. We came back and we got ready for Simpson, and we knew kind of the stretch we had. And I just told them, look, don't look at the record, don't scoreboard watch, none of that. Just work as hard as we possibly can work, because if we do anything different and we're like, oh, well, Simpson hasn't won a game, Arkansas Baptist hasn't won a game, you're going to get beat by Louisiana Christian, because you're not going to be ready to play because you didn't practice hard for 2 weeks. And then you're going to probably get beat by Langston because of the same thing, because you're like, oh, well, I got two kind of not great teams on the score sheet, right? And they're coming up. And if you do that, you're going to lose to Louisiana Christian. You're probably going to get beat Langston. And then you're going to be all sad and mad at each other and mad at the coaches, and everybody's going to be ticked off at each other. And then Panhandle's a crapshoot, because then you don't know what you're going to get from those guys, because they're a pretty good team and well coached. And so I harped on it, and I harped on it just like I told them afterwards. That was 4 great weeks of work. Our guys have practiced. Like Tuesday night, I told them after practice Tuesday night, our game Saturday against Louisiana Christian, and no offense to all the guys that we've had out there, but that was probably one of the top 3 games we have ever played here, the way we played, offense, defense, and special teams. 1 on the road, an 11 a.m. kick, crazy travel to get to Pineville, and we just went to work on those guys right from the jump, and we played really, really well, like executed, sharp, tackled, physical, ran the ball, threw the ball, did everything that you need to do, and it was probably one of our best games. I told the guys, and I said, don't get it twisted. It was because you guys have worked hard for 3 straight weeks. You're going to have to work hard for Tuesday night was maybe one of our best practices we've ever had here. Tuesday and Wednesday. Wednesday was a little flat, but Tuesday was an awesome practice. And you can really feel it, right? Because we got enough new coaches on staff that those guys can come in and go, man, I don't know if I've ever been around a team this late that practices that hard. Late in the year, right? You're going into the first week in November, and guys are just practicing hard. And it's good because those new guys, they're new eyes, they're new coaches. They haven't been here. They're not used to this environment yet maybe. And they see our kids just fly around. And I'm like, yeah, that's it, right? That's the secret to the sauce. And so hopefully we just keep doing it, just buying in and working hard. Same thing I told them. Got an open week. We got 2 hard practices, Tuesdays and Wednesday. You're going to get a Thursday, Friday off, and then we're going to come back and get ready to go to Panhandle. So hopefully we just keep buying into the philosophy of just outwork those other guys and compete against each other every day, because we're good on good every day. And so our guys are seeing it every day. They're playing against good people, and it's a lot of fun to see. So hopefully we can keep doing it.
Hey, Coach. Alex Dobkin here, UAZspirit.com. Tonight representing the fans of Ottawa University in the city of Surprise. Tonight was your last home game of the regular season, season number 7. I think tonight was win number 50. We got multiple conference championships. You hosted a bowl game, 2 national tournament appearances. And during those years, you've had some kids here that are now educators, first responders, teachers, coaches themselves. Some of them have their own kids. So what I'd like you to talk about tonight is kind of talk to us about these last 7 years, some of the memorable moments, some of the hard ones, and what makes you and your coaching staff want to do it and do it at the level you've been doing it for these past 7 years.
No. Is that really your question?
Yeah.
Those guys told me to tell you no. That was like a podcast question, and I wasn't going to answer it.
That's a Josh Fisher one.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. 7 years. It's funny you asked that, because Colin McClure and I were, Colin is senior night tonight, and it was his second senior night. So Colin came back, and, he's engaged, and he's going to getting married and starting his family and the whole deal. And we're sitting on the bench last week. I think it was like Monday or Tuesday night, something like that. And he said, we're going to draft the top 60 football players in OUAZ history. Right? And I started thinking about it. I'm thinking, holy cow, that's hard to do. Top 60 guys, right? Top 65. We were going to make a travel party, the best football players in OUAZ history. And we just started rifling off names, 7 years. We've had some fantastic moments in 7 seasons. Fantastic. Tonight, we got one of our great players and one of our seniors. His dad passed away on the road trip to New Orleans when we were in Louisiana. Actually had a heart attack and got sick on the Thursday and Friday while we were traveling out to go see him. And unfortunately, his dad passed away on Tuesday morning or Wednesday morning this week. and his son came back to play. And so worst moment is having to watch a guy lose his dad, right? I mean, it's hard. It's hard when you have to, right? That's one of the things I always say to people. And I had a really good friend of mine when we were living and coaching at West Texas A&M when I lost my mom and dad. He said it's the worst experience you ever have to do. It's one of the toughest. You have some pride in it because you got to take care of your parents when they're about at the point to pass away, right? And you're super, super thankful that you only have to do that thing one time in your whole life on this planet, right? And I watched that guy, and he calls and tells us and shoots us a text that his dad didn't survive and he was going to pass away. And the first thing Nano tells me was, I need help and I want to come back and play in the game. I tell him, man, I'm sorry, I love you. And he's like, I just need help to get back. I'm going to play. I want to play in senior night. My dad wouldn't want me to miss senior night for this. Okay, so that to me, that 5-second phone call and talking to him, that might encapsulate the last 7 years of OUAZ football. And I say it all the time. People probably get tired of me saying it. I wish I could bottle up what makes our team so tight. Because every year since we've been here, we had 140-some guys show up the first year. 35 of those guys of the original recruits that practiced at the 8 acres that Paul set up for us, 35 of those guys made it back to the Seddies. We had over 160 on that team that made it to that night of the Seddies. And they were as tight as any group. Every year we have new players, transfers, freshmen, high school guys, and they all show up. Some of our best moments is what we were just talking about, before we sat down for the interview. The Langston, Oklahoma game, our first year here, when we go on the road and they're beating us by 21 in the first 4 minutes. And I'm like, you guys are going to be okay. You're going to be okay. And I guarantee you all those coaches on that staff were like, Coach Nesbitt's crazy. I'm getting my resume ready right when I get off this plane tonight because we are fired. And then you know what? Those dang kids and those coaches rallied and we come back now and we play great. We still get beat on the last play of the game. But that team that was 7-4, when we took the job, we told them that first team meeting, you guys are going to play for a conference championship and you're going to go get a chance to play for a national championship in your time here. Jump on board and let's go right away. And they bottled it and they bought into it. Our cohesiveness as a team is great. The best, the worst moments, Alex, I mean, you're talking about, we've had so many great kids. From Shamar Moreland to Marcellus to Chris Ewings to Tristan Shehorn. Okay, let's talk about Tristan Shehorn. I could be here all night now. Okay, Tristan Shehorn, non-recruited, 5'8", undersized center from Tucson, and nobody was recruiting him. I go in and I'm like, how'd you like to come play football at Ottawa? And I'm thinking, this guy's going to be our starting center maybe? I'm like, we have no, right? 4-time All-Conference, Remington Award winner, All-American, right? Why? Because he was tougher than heck and he showed up. Now he works for the Department of Corrections. He's a parole officer. He's getting married. I mean, just you go down the list of guys, Antonio Day, Austin McCullough. I mean, David South, Seth Ham, like Eric Holman. You see all these guys that have showed up for this university and this team. And it's unbelievable. Like I wish I could figure out why they love being part of it so much that they do tonight. They play sick, they play hurt. We've got guys that got done tonight that played a lot of snaps tonight, and they're gonna go back to a job tonight and they're gonna work all night. They're not a normal college guy. They're not going to go out tonight. Some of them are going to go work all night tonight because that's what they got to do to pay their payment next week. And so if you ever think that as a coach that you can't show up and do a good job when you got kids that do that for your team, you got a kid like Nano that loses his dad and the only thing he wants to do is come back and play tonight. You got guys that are working night shifts and then still come in the morning at 7 a.m. position meetings. To me, that's the best part of our football team. That right there. That our guys do it every day for us coaches. And I tell them and I've told the Bobby Tomlins and those guys, Scotty Baumlin, those guys used to always smile. Oh yeah, we love you too, coach. We love you too, right? But Scotty Bonham had 2 jobs and he worked all night and he never missed a meeting and never missed a practice and never missed a game to get here to play. So I never ever like kind of look at that haphazard like, yeah, that's neat. We got a great team and all that. To me, that makes me want to coach harder, work harder, give them a better product, make sure they travel good, do what we got to do as coaches to make sure they have a great experience, because we've got guys here that go over and beyond what they have to do to play here because they're not on full scholarship. They're paying to play here. And so we better show up and do a great job as coaches and professors and teachers and give them a great experience because they deserve that. And if we're not working hard for them, shoot, come on. But then I also think that's why winning for them is important, because it's not about their NLI money or their booster money or what they're going to get. They've already made the sacrifice, not just in the classroom, but they've made a financial sacrifice to play for us. They made a commitment to play for us. Well, I'm going to lay it on the line tonight. I'm going to get a conversion on that 4th down, and I'm going to make that stop and block that field goal because we work hard. We want to win that game, right? Because those kids do a lot away from here. So to say like multiple moments, we'd be here for 4 or 5 hours, that's probably I won't say it, but that's a cold soda pop moment. But other than that, I mean, there's a lot. And so I can't tell these kids thank you enough, and I say it every year. But our seniors, our past seniors, the originals that stayed around here that helped build this program for us, you guys are awesome. You're always welcome, but thank you. And I always say it, and I always tell you guys I love you. But not just this team, every team the last 7, 8 years that we've had, even those guys that practiced at the 8 acres the first year that might not even have made it to a game, those guys helped build this place too. They showered at the swimming pool. They'd get done with practice and have to walk to the swimming pool, and Paul was nice enough to get those guys to open up the swimming pool so they could shower and go to class with their travel bag in their hand at 9 a.m. And then walk around with their equipment all day because we didn't have a locker room. To be where we're at now and to have the conference championships and the All-Americans and all that, every guy, coach and player that's been in this program, I don't care if they've played 1 down, no, 1,000,000 downs and been an All-American. We've had a lot of people build this football program for us, and they're awesome kids. Every kid that has come out and played for us and practiced with us or whatever that is, to me, that's the best. That's the best part of it. Thanks. Appreciate it.